Good evening, YouTube. A little birdie whispered in my ear, said that if I didn't stop doing what I was doing and do an update, that I might have a major uprising on my hands. So let's get right into it with the engine. Now, this is the first time I've ever come across this. There's one type of cylinder, and then there's another kind of cylinder. Now, who would do that? So we got 3 of these, and we got 5 of these. So they may actually balance out and the compression may be right, but I doubt it. And then the inside of this motor is filthy. So we've come to the conclusion that maybe the best thing to do here would be to pull the rotating assembly out of this engine, buy maybe a 383 stroker, take this over and have it bored and hot tanked and go from there, rather than try to build a 450 horsepower motor out of what we got here. Everything I've come across says that this was really thrown together with odds and end parts. So let's go through some of the other stuff. I've started to clean the heads up. We're not going to use them, but if we ever have a chance of selling them, I guess I should clean them up. What I planned on doing was putting them back on the block and using them as masking for the block. And that would have gotten these painted also, and then I could just sell these. So that's the heads. I've got the valve covers also cleaned up, ready to go back on. The oil pan's over there, that needs to be cleaned up. But now with the change in plans, I'm not sure what we're going to do. I have to do some talking and calling around tomorrow to see what the story is. You may have wondered how I figure out what bolts go where. What I do is I come looking for a specific bolt. For example, a starter bolt or oil pan bolts. And as I go through the cans, I get more and more cans, and anytime I find a different bolt, a unique bolt, I put it in a pan. For example, here's bumper bolts, and here's suspension bolts, and these are engine bolts. And I'll break it down further than that, and that way they're easy to find. Here's the U-bolts for the U-joints. The one thing I have gotten done, it'd be nice to get things done. One thing I have gotten done is this was the intake that was on the vehicle, and I sandblasted it and powder coated it so that it's now ready for the swap meet. I don't know whether to sell this with the 4-barrel carburetor or without. Give me a comment down. Should I sell it with or without? We all come to a point in a project where you wonder, what the heck were you thinking? Having looked at this engine, and I keep finding things that I don't like. The snout of the crank has got a helicoil in it. The inside of the motor, it looks like they never changed the oil. It's all baked and hard. It's almost like rhino lining. And there's 3 different cylinders in there. So with that all in mind, what we're thinking, and we're going to have to look at prices and stuff, but what we're thinking is we'll put a new rotating assembly in there. Takes care of the crank problem, takes care of the pistons, gives us the option of maybe doing a 383. I don't know, depends upon cost. But that's what we're looking at now. That one, we're not going to put it back together the way it is. So, and what you did is you caught me in the mundane task of sorting bolts and nuts. And what I do is I get a bunch of paint cups. I go on Amazon or I buy these because they're so useful. And then I just sort the bolts. There's all the body bolts and all the bolts with captured washers. And right in front of me here are all the engine bolts. So what I need to do is put those in a cup. So now, if I need a body bolt, I can go there. If I need an engine bolt, I have to dump them out, but there's not that many, there's like 20. So the same thing for like the U-joints. I gotta find one nut. What else is here that's recognizable? Well, just a single nut. That's a unique single nut someplace that goes. I don't know where it is. That might be to hold the steering column up. I don't know. I have to look. So what I have here are the head bolts that came out of that engine, and we've run it through the tumbler with the ceramic pieces, and now we're going to take them over and run them through the walnuts. So this is the last step of tumbling bolts. In this case, I'm using walnut shells, and it'll polish the bolts up real nice. Been working here too. Been taking the wire brush to the frame as much as I can. Finishing up on the control arms. This project just seems to be dragging on and on. I've got the bump stops in the lower control arms, but for the life of me, I cannot get the bump stop into the upper control arm. If anybody knows a trick on how to do that, I'd appreciate knowing it. Leave it in comments. I've even gone to the point of, I bolted the frame, on the A-frame onto the car so I can put pressure down on the ball joint, and then I had vice grips and I'm pulling up on the pull through, and man, it just won't go. So this is what it looks like. So what you're supposed to do is put this in through the hole and then pull this through so it locks into the control arm, and I can't get it to do it. So here we are doing another little task on C10. This is not what I anticipated doing, again because of the engine problem, but this will be some progress anyway, so I don't know how much of this you want to watch, and we'll probably speed it up a little bit, but here we go. Phew.
What my face? You okay?
Yeah.
Pinch in the eye?
No.
You want to get out?
Yeah, I do.